Hey everyone! Today I'm so excited to show you my new pet room that I finally finished building. It is home to my Roborowski hamster Chip, who is almost 1 year old, and my Syrian hamster Strudel, who we believe is a little bit over 1. So I built 2 DIY cages in 2024 for my hamsters, but I wanted some type of organization system for all of the accessories for the cages. It took a lot of searching to find some type of storage system that would match the dimensions of the cages because these are pretty big. One is 2 feet by 4 feet and then the other one is 2 feet by 3 feet. So it's about 7 feet across that I was trying to cover and 2 feet back. But I found these Walmart cubbies that if you put 4 of them together, the dimensions are almost exactly perfect to support the cages, so I went ahead and built all of these. I really wanted to have the storage below the cage because in my old apartment I was storing the bedding and the accessories in another room, and dragging it from one room to the next always made such a mess when cleaning. So I put one in front of the other and did that on the other side as well, so you can completely reach through from the front. I obviously had to hire a contractor who would supervise the job. Prices were pretty decent, about 2 chicken biscuits. I was really happy with the way it turned out, and now I have so much storage. So the first habitat belongs to Chip. It is 3 feet by 2 feet by 2 feet. The second is Strudel's, and this one is 4 feet by 2 feet by 2 feet. For the actual storage under the cages, I got these wicker baskets from IKEA. I already had some of them lying around, so I picked up a few more and sorted all of the hamster stuff into their right baskets. And then I put the larger items like the bedding and some of the substrates in the back compartment. So if you can't tell yet, I'm going for a very neutral and light colored boho theme. So I also had this couch from IKEA that we put in there as well. I thought the pillow matched the baskets really well, and I did have this lamp in here for a little bit, but I ended up taking it out just because A, it wasn't that useful, and B, it kind of covered part of the couch, so if multiple people want to sit on it, obviously besides my dog, then one of their legs usually would bump into that wooden post. The room itself is not too big, so the overhead light was plenty of light. Then I got this air purifier from Amazon. It came really highly rated for pet care, so I'm really happy that I picked this up, and I definitely feel like it's made a difference. It's great for humans, obviously, but for the hamsters as well, getting the dust out of the air as they have really sensitive respiratory systems, so it benefits both of us. Even with using some of the least dusty paper bedding I can find, I have just accepted there is always going to be some level of dust when cleaning, so this is super helpful for that. Another idea is plants. They kind of work as a natural air purifier and help take particles out of the air. Unfortunately, this room does not have natural lighting, so they're not in here, but they are elsewhere in the apartment. Something I was really excited about was a treat jar shelf. So I got this from IKEA, and it is a white wooden board with 2 light wash wood supports underneath, and I'm planning on hanging this to the right of the cages. Okay, so for whatever reason, this shelf was so difficult to get up. Believe it or not, it took 2 people almost the same amount of time to hang a single shelf as it took me to build those 4 cabinets in the beginning. I genuinely don't have an explanation. The shelf itself was not that difficult to put up. There was probably I don't even know, 10 screws, nails, whatever, in total. It just was very problematic, but we did get that shelf up. I totally know someone's gonna have that same shelf and be thinking, it probably took me about 1 minute to put up, but that's okay. So I keep my treats in these little bamboo jars. So that one is pumpkin seeds. This is mealworms. That's a vegetable mix. That is sunflower seeds and watermelon seeds. This is walnuts, dried chicken, hazelnuts, and cashews. For the hamster seed mix, I got these 2 glass bamboo jars off of Amazon to match. They have a matching wooden spoon, and they have a top that creates an airtight seal. I made 2 labels for the jars, a Roborowski one and a Syrian one for each of the hamster seed mix. So we have to backtrack a little bit here. Unfortunately, there was a rather large problem with the seed mix that I was using, and putting it in a glass jar showed me that. So I had to take apart the entire pet room that I had just built and redo all of the cages because there was a bug in Strudel's seed mix. And once I identified the bug as a drugstore beetle, I found out those lovely things can fly, which means that everything in that room was probably contaminated. So that's why it took a really long time to fix everything and redo it again. And so I obviously ordered new food. This is the 2nd round of new food since. And on the plus side, I did learn about ways to help prevent bugs, such as freezing any type of food you get for a week, or cooking your wooden items in the oven. The hamsters were completely fine. Luckily, the drugstore beetle is fairly harmless to hamsters, and it was a very small infestation. I will be making a video about how to deal with bugs at some point, since I now have experience on that. But I did go ahead and put this new food in the freezer for a week because it is recommended to do that to kill most things. After a week, the food was ready to be put in the jars. As I mentioned, this is the 2nd round of new food, so the food you see in the jars already is not the food that had the bugs in it, I promise. I love when brands make separate seed mixes for the different species of hamsters. This one is a General Dwarf hamster food mix, which includes the Roborowski hamster, as it is a dwarf. So this is going to include seeds that are smaller and things that they would more naturally find in their specific region that they come from in the wild. And then for strudel, I have the golden hamster food. A golden hamster is just a common name for a Syrian hamster. There are a bunch of them. Golden hamster, fancy hamster, teddy bear hamster. they all mean a Syrian hamster. This seed mix is going to have a slightly different nutritional makeup, and again, the larger seeds that the Syrian hamster would more likely encounter in its natural habitat in the wild. The two seed mixes do look pretty similar, it's just easier to identify the difference in seed size when putting them next to each other. Since this is a pet room, it only makes sense to hang up pictures of my pets, so I did go ahead and upload to CVS a picture of Strudel, a picture of Ferris, my dog, and a picture of Chip so that I can hang these on the wall. The photos came out perfectly. This is my favorite photo of Strudel in his little mushroom hut. This is Ferris when I first rescued him when he was a puppy. And this is a recent photo of Chip next to his little acorn. I ordered a frame pack to put the pictures inside. It's a 13-inch square, and I will have 3 of these to put each of the pets' photos in. Strudel's a lot easier to take pictures of because he's bigger and he stays still more often. So I sometimes will set up a background and put essentially a prop in it that's usually one of his huts or whatever I want to take a photo of him with. And then I let him run around, and whenever he runs into the backdrop area, I will take a bunch of photos or take a video and then pause the video at a good moment and screenshot it to get a picture of him. For Chip, it's a little harder because he doesn't love to come out as much. He occasionally will be in the mood to come out and I let him run around in his playpen, but in general, he likes to be interacted with in his cage more. Usually if I'm feeding him a treat, I can get a cute photo of him, but obviously my hand's in it then. Most of the time, he's running so fast that the photos come out blurry, but this photo I actually got pretty lucky with. Ferris is incredibly easy to take photos of, and that's probably why half of my camera roll is of him. I have photos of him in basically every themed holiday collar you can imagine, any color collar, but he's worn his little duck collar now for, I would say, over a year, and I'm definitely planning on sticking with that for a while. I really love it. So this is what my pet room looks like overall. I'm super happy with how it came out. I'd love to hear what your guys' favorite part is, and if you have any ideas of things that I could add in the future. I'm thinking maybe a rug or something like that at some point, but would love to hear what you guys are thinking. And thank you so much for watching as usual, and I will see you guys in our next one.